So today we're going to make a container to put our bones in for our treats at the vets. So I bought this packet of containers here. They were just 99p, but you don't have to use these. Have you seen like those caps? You get the caps of bottles and things, which sort of are roughly about that size, and they go onto the bottle sort of like that, and you can put things inside it. They sort of go on top and they go inside the bottle like that, and that would be I've used those before, but these were so cheap. I think I got 10 for 99. So we're just going to make a lid for it. You could just use this and put this lid on if you wanted to, but we're going to make a lid which will fit onto this out of polymer clay. Okay, so I've conditioned my clay and I've got it all nice and soft and supple. So I'm just going to take my rolling pin. I'm just going to roll it to about the size that I would like it to be. Now I want it reasonably thin. Now I'm just going to do this on my tile like this, but if you want to, you can get a lollipop stick and put a lollipop stick on each side so that you know that your clay is going to be a nice even size. And what I'm wanting to do, so that's not too bad a size, is to take the lid and I'm going to just press down onto it like that and press all the way through so it goes all the way through. And then I find the best thing to do is to come around and pull up like that to get the clay out of the way. Then if you've got a knife, which I did have a second ago and I put it in the basket by mistake, what you can do then is just take your knife and come around and just cut off any sticking out bits on the edges like that, okay? And you'll get any bits which come out like that just before you take the top off. That just helps a little bit to remove any bits which you've got there, okay? And then take that top off, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to take our blade. Out of all of the tools which you use for polymer clay, probably this is the one which is the most important. This is the one which is going to help you. Sorry, I keep touching the camera, sorry. This is going to help you to be able to get it up and down off the table. You don't need to have a blade, but it is preferable and it does work really well. You can see that that came off beautifully there. And then just go around with your finger and take off any excess of that. And what I want to do is I just want to make it just a tiny bit smaller all the way around, because this piece is going to sit inside my lid. So I want it just so that it just goes inside like that, which it did. So I'm going to put that onto one side, just clean off the table a bit. I'm going to take the second piece, and the second piece I am going to cut with a cutter. Was it that size? Yeah. It was that size cutter. I'm going to take this small cutter. Now you can get cutters. These were Fimo, and actually came in a pack of Fimo cutters, and it had lots of different shapes and that in there. So you can get them like that, and they get smaller as you sort of go down. Or what you could do is look for something like a little small jam jar or a spice jar, or something like that, and just work it so that you get the size that you want, because you want it to be just a bit bigger, not a huge amount bigger, okay? So look for something which is just a bit bigger than your jar. I'm just going to roll it out. Right. And we're going to cut that one out. There we go. Off, so we've got a nice shape. Now what I want to do now, where's my blade? Take my blade and take this off. These blades aren't very expensive, and you don't need to sort of like have to. And what I want to do is I want to place this over, sort of in the middle, but I want it to sort of come, so it's coming around. So it's going all the way around, and I want it to come in sort of, not all the way in, but I want it to sort of come in so you're getting more of a shape like that. Right, And you can try it out. Sort of press that down so it's sitting nicely. So you've got a nice dome shape there. Right. Now if you've noticed that you've got a mark or something on it, you can sort of take that off, or if you leave it until after it's been baked and it's all cool, you can take a piece of emery board or sandpaper, and you can just use that to sand any bits off which you don't want on there. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that back on the top, and what you want to do is you want to turn it over, and you want this to go around so that you can see that once that goes on, you're still going to have a little, it's going to go on and it's going to stay on, it's not going to fall off. All right, so you're just giving it a little push down like that, not too much, because you need to be able to get it off again. Okay, just so that you know that that's going to form a little lid which will fit onto it. All right, and you can just lift that off. There we go. So that there should give you enough indentation so that you can get that off. Okay, so place that back on there. Make sure there's no edges where it's not coming out, and then take another piece of clay. Okay, and you want to make this piece into a sausage shape. I'm just going to take it along there and I'll muck around with it a bit until I get it into the sort of shape I want. That's a bit too thin, I think. Do it again. That's it. That's more like it. There we go. Yeah, that's more like it. And I'll just get rid of that crease. Push it back. I've still got a crease in it. I don't know if you can see the crease, but there's a definite crease coming in there. That's better, I think. Yes, can you see it's nice and smooth all the way around? So I'm going to place one end down on the table and just press that down like that. Right, and then you can just take that over. Now that's a bit big. I'm going to take that, a little bit of that off. Okay. Just going to do that again and just press that down so you've got that. Get a bit more of a shape. I'm losing my shape here, sorry. When I cut it, I think I made it a bit, that's better. A bit wonky on the bottom of it for the shape of it I want. Place that on the top. Get it in the middle where you want it. And just press that down like that. Alright, and that'll be your top. Now, if you want to, just whizzle that off. And you've got some of this, you can put a tiny bit of it onto the base where you're going to stick it on with. Just a tiny bit, you don't need hardly any at all. Pop that on, and there you go. Because you've got your, oh, now you've got your little handle there. Okay, sorry about my fingers, I think they're all full of bits of polymer clay. Keep scrubbing them every time in between each colour I use, and they just come back after once or twice of using it, and it's covered in it again. So there's my little lid. All right, so I should take that, and on this I shall put it on this tile, and I shall bake that for whatever it says on the instructions. Mine was 130 for 30 minutes, so I should do that. What I'm going to do, I've got some other things I need to bake, so I shall bake them all together, and that shall be my little lid for the bones. And we shall go ahead now and we shall have a go at making the bones in a minute. So I'm just making up the little bones to go into the box of dog's treats. So I've made up a few, and they're pretty simple to do. I've just got some polymer clay, and I've just rolled it, and I've rolled it so that with my finger so that the centre goes in a little bit further, so you get an indentation on it, and just push with your two fingers so that the bone comes back to the centre every so often. You want it to be thin in the centre, and you want each end to be slightly thicker, like that. And all I did was, once I'd got it to the shape I sort of wanted it to be, I took a needle, and this is just a wool needle, but you could use any needle. I just went in and I made a indentation in the top, and then I pushed that in a bit so that it made it look more like a bone shape, like that. Sort of just go in like that a bit on each end, so you get like more of that end of the bone there. And do exactly the same on the other side. Just push that in like that, both sides, and then just push those bits in and down. And then you can just go around with your fingers, rolling it in between your fingers like that. And you'll get a nice shape of the bone. Okay, so I've just got several of those, and I'll just make up some more so that we've got enough to sort of go in and make a little treat box of the bones in the box. Like that. So just do a few more. So here we have our little tub of bones all finished. The top looks really cute, and the bones inside are all lovely. You can just take them out, so it's just really nice, so you can, so the children can take them out and use them to give to the dogs. So that's worked really well, so I really like that. There we go. So I was just working on I just finished off the dog's bones, as you've seen, and I thought, wouldn't it be nice to make some little ones for cats? So I just cut them out in a cat shape, and I'm going to bake those and see how they come along. So all I did was just cut a small circle. So I'm just going to cut the tail. You don't want too big a tail, and you don't want the cut too narrow. You don't want it to snap if you've got it too narrow like that. And then just cut away here and just come around and cut it in a sort of round type shape like that. There we go, that should work. I don't think I went all the way through. Let's just try that again. Come on, that's better. Cut that away. So you might prefer to do it with one of these knives, or you might prefer to do it with your X-Acto type knife. Crafty type knife, like that. Like that there, and then come around from where you've got your other piece cut. And just go around until you get like a little fish shape. So, and there you go. Right. Just neaten that up then. You can either do this with the blade, or you can just do it with your fingers. So there we go. So I'm just going to come around now, all these bits here, and just push them in a bit and get a nice shape, which I like. If you think that your tail's too big, you can always take a little bit off your tail. That's a bit better, and then shape it around how you want it to be. That's better. I'm just going to shape it into a fish shape, just using my fingers to soften it around. And there you go, and there you have it, a little fish. I think that'd be nice for the cats to have a treat as well when they go to the vets. So I'm just going to do those just enough to fill up the jar with, and then I'll cook them. Goodbye.